Today's episode is about security, Cisco Security to be exact. So the average cost of a data breach is roughly around 4 million for a company. With that being said, cybersecurity has become one of the most in-demand fields available. It's only going to get bigger. If you've been watching the news, you see where a company comes out now and lets the public know pretty much it seems like once a week that a company is getting having some sort of data breach. So the fight is never ending as these companies get bigger and then these hackers get smarter. So the companies, they're always looking for someone to help protect their organization against these hackers. So if security is an interest of yours, today I plan on giving you some options to explore in the world of security. As always, everyone's journey is different. The thing is to come up with a plan, stick with the plan, and then trust that process. So stay tuned. And don't forget to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell. Welcome to Debt Free in IT. I'm your host, Mike. This podcast is for anyone looking to get in the IT industry, whether it's for a career change or you're just interested, you come to the right place. So in today's episode, I'm going over some of the Cisco Security Certifications. So my list is going to start with what I call the low-hanging fruit. So this may be the easiest to obtain up until the hardest to obtain. So with no further ado, let's get started. The first cert that I'm going to list is it's a newly cert. It's new, so it's only been available the past couple of months. And this is the CCIE Security. So this is an entry-level certification that prepares you for an entry-level IT support role. The exam has no prerequisites, so you don't need no other training before trying to take this exam. And then also this exam, it covers the essential security principles, basic network security, endpoint security concepts. And the cost of this exam is $125. So if you've been used to taking any kind of Cisco certifications, you know that range is usually around $300 to $400. So this entry-level certification is a low-hanging fruit, something that may help you to get that start and hopefully land you that entry-level role. So the next certification on my list is the Cyber Ops Associate. So this is an associate level certification that prepares you for entry-level roles like a cybersecurity analyst. There's no prerequisite for this certification also, and it pretty much covers security concepts, security monitoring, host-based analysis, network intrusion analysis, and some security policies and procedures. Now, the cost of this certification is roughly around $300. If you're going to some sort of networking academy, sometimes you may get a discount or something like that for being in the networking academy. But if you're not, then roughly this cost is around $300. So Cyber Ops Associate level certification, I say that this here is a little bit, maybe a little bit more difficult than the CCST Security. Maybe if you get that CCST Security, then it may lead to you going into the Cyber Ops Associate. So the next certification that I have is the Cyber Ops Professional. So this is the next level up from the Cyber Ops Associate. This is a professional level certification. It prepares you for possible roles such as a cybersecurity engineer, cybersecurity investigator, an incident manager, incident responder, and also a SOC analyst, just to name a few. There's no prerequisite for this exam also, but most people that take it tend to have 3 to 5 years of experience. This exam consists of 2 exams. So you have the core exam. Then after you pass that core exam, you have to take one of the 2 concentration exams for this Cyber Ops Professional. After you pass that concentration exam, then you are Cyber Ops Professional certified. You're a certified Cyber Ops Professional. So this exam, it goes a little bit deeper than the associate. It tests your knowledge on some core cybersecurity operations, including some of the cybersecurity fundamentals and techniques, processes, and also automation. The cost of this certification is a little bit higher also. So the cost comes in at roughly $400 for the core exam. And then when you get into the concentration exams, they're $300. So remember, there's 2 concentration exams that you can choose from, and they're $300 a piece. If you're finding value in this episode and you're listening via YouTube or your favorite podcasting app, please leave me a review or a comment. If you have a friend who might need to hear this, then please share this episode with them. So the next certification on my list is the CCNA Security. So this is a professional level certification that prepares you for job roles such as the Associate Security Engineer, Network Security Engineer, information security analyst, and information security engineer. So there's no prerequisite for this exam also. And this exam is also consists of 2 exams. So you have a core exam, and then you must pass one of the, I think they have 6 concentration exams. So the concentration exams, one of them covers ICE, which is Cisco's new security appliance. And also it covers Cisco's firepower, email security. Then you have one for cloud security. And the cost of this for the core exam is $400. And then for the concentration exam is $300. So there's 2 exams. So you'll be roughly spending a total of $700 to become a certified CCNP security professional. So the next certification that I have on my list is the highest level certification you can get for Cisco Security, and that's the CCIE Security. So it's the highest certification available from Cisco. There's no prerequisite, but most people have 5 to 7 years of experience. It consists of 2 exams, the core exam, which is the same core exam from the CCNP Security. So if you pass that core exam, you've knocked out half of the CCIE. But then the second exam is pretty much a 8-hour hands-on lab that covers the end-to-end life cycle of complex security solutions and technologies from designing, deploying, operating, and optimizing. So this hands-on lab is broken down into 2 modules. So you have the first module, which is a design, which is where you have 3 hours to complete it. And then you have the second module, which is the deploy, operate, and optimize lab. And pretty much you have 5 hours to complete it. And then the cost is up there. So the cost is going to be roughly around $1,600 to go and take this lab. And to my knowledge, you have to go in, I think you go and schedule. And most time they have you go in to a Cisco office that's close to you, or maybe somewhere that they may have set up close to you. But you go in and you do the hands-on lab. So, and I do think if you check online, there is a feature where you can bring your own equipment of some sort. But that CCIE Security, like I said, it's the highest available certification from Cisco. As for jobs listed, most of the time I see people that's CCIE certified. Most of the time they're either consultants or they work for managed service providers, things of that nature. So if you're concerned with pay, usually a CCIE in anything, networking, security, or anything, usually they're going to be getting paid very well. So this is something that you want to get experience before trying to take it. So one thing to note is that most of these exams do not have no prerequisites. So meaning that you can study for an exam and then you can go and take that exam. So with that being said, if it was me in a situation of trying to get into security, I wouldn't just go and study for the highest exam out there and go get it, because sometimes it may look a little weird on your resume that, okay, this guy's a CCNP or CCIE in security, but he hasn't had one job in the field. So the better way to approach it may be to get that beginner level certification and then move your way up to it. So get that beginner level certification, whether it's cyber ops, or maybe you want to start with CCNP. So if it's a CCNP, the first thing would be the core, then the concentration exam. So obtain one of those and then try to get a job in that field to get your experience before moving on to a higher certification. So if cyber ops is your interest, aim for the cyber ops associate. Once you get that associate, start putting it on your resume, start job searching. Hopefully you get a security role. And then after a couple of years, then go and try to take that professional exam, because with a lot of the exams, even though there's no prerequisites for it, a lot of times some of the stuff in the exams you don't encounter until you had that real world experience. So some of it, majority of it's in the textbooks, but some things you're going to run into on those exams is going to be things that you may only remember if you ran into it in a real world environment. So I would get whatever certification you have of interest, either it's going to be cyber ops or the CCNP security, or you could very well just start with the CCST security and then choose from there. So get those certifications, try to get a job. Then after you build up those years of experience, start aiming for higher certifications. Because in most cases, the way it's going to work out, after you get in the door with whatever certification you decide to start with, usually getting another certification higher up is gonna end up for you getting either a advanced role, moving up in your department, becoming maybe a going from an analyst to an engineer of some sort. So a lot of times it may end up to you getting a pay increase, maybe a percentage pay increase. And then a lot of times your employer may end up paying for everything. So, they could reimburse you if you pass the exam, you take the certification and you pass it, then they reimburse you for it. So just take it slow. Just because there's no prerequisites doesn't mean you have to jump to the highest certification just because you think it's going to look good on your resume. And so in most cases, in the situations I've been in, usually if you see someone that has a higher level certification like that and they don't have any job to show for it, a lot of times it's one or two things. Some cases they might have dumped it, where they found one of these exams, they got the answers for them and they took it. And a lot of times that's going to show in the interview, because if you got a higher level certification and you go in on the interview, you best believe you're going to get drilled to make sure that you know that stuff. So a lot of times, like I said, just start with the certification you're interested in, and then move up after you get that job role and get that experience, then start getting some of these advanced certifications. So another thing to point out is that most of these exams, they have a core exam and a concentration exam. So pretty much I like this aspect just because the concentration exams, you can pretty much look at what different jobs is asking for in your area, and then you can decide on what concentration exam you want to take. So with security, with the CCNP Security, some of the concentration exams was for ICE. So I can look up on Indeed, see what companies in my area is looking for someone with ICE experience, and then I could see, okay, it's a lot of companies using this. This may be a good concentration exam to have. Or firepower. I could do the same thing with firepower and see just what the market is looking for in my area. And then also this could help you make your decision on which concentration exam to take. And then also there's nothing set in stone that says you can't take multiple concentration exams. So if you get CCNP Security for ICE, you can go back and take that CCNP Security for firepower. So nothing says you can't have multiple. So that brings me to the end of this episode. Hopefully you found some value in this episode. If you're on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, please follow me at DebtFreeInIT. If you have any questions or comments, you can email me at debtfreeinit@gmail.com. Other than that, I'll see you next week. Peace.